Chuey Martinez in the building.
Hey, what's cracking?
Francis Maxwell in the building.
Hey, I'm always here.
Jason Rubin in the building. Jacory in the booth. Bart in the booth. Irma in the studio.
That's the dream team right
there.
Am
I missing anybody?
Griffin sleeping.
Griffin sleeping?
Griffin's 14. He rents out the studio.
That's that white privilege right there. Let's sleep on the job, and you're good. And he's good. He's yawning. Good.
Now he's up.
Won't get in trouble. If that was my brown ass doing that, I'd get fired.
I'm not allowed to say anything.
Yeah, you are.
I'm so white.
Actually, no, you're Jewish.
Oh, I mean, yeah, we built pyramids, but come on. I mean, like, it's been years, all right? We gotta move past it.
You built the pyramids and Hollywood. Boom.
Right.
Very true.
Fortunately,
I built nothing.
What are we talking about, you guys?
We're talking about Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Built a legacy.
All right, look, this is not the take that anybody ever wants to hear about Michael Jordan, because my generation and Chewy's generation, Francis' generation, we grew up with Michael Jordan, and we see him as somebody who he's not really painted out to be. Now, Michael Jordan's not a bad person, but he's not the overarching role model that the world has made him become, or made him be since 2003 when he retired, right? What he did for the game of basketball is remarkable.
Yes.
I will never take that away. Is he one of the greatest players of all time? If not the greatest. Absolutely. His Jordan brand shoes, his name, his legacy lives on forever. But when Martellus Bennett doesn't want to go to the White House, and when Chris Long doesn't want to go to the White House, Patriots Super Bowl winners, and they give their reasoning, a lot of chatter, whether it be pro or anti, a lot of chatter. What about Michael? 1991. Craig Hodges recently interviewed with SI.com, played alongside Jordan for a couple of years, has a good reason, and I actually found the newspaper clipping. Do you know newspapers? Those are cool.
Yeah, I remember those.
So let's run the Hodges interview first. Very interesting.
People forget about this, that Michael Jordan boycotted a visit to the White House in 1991. He's often the poster child for the apolitical athlete. Why do you think this fact of history has largely been forgotten?
Because the endorsements, the powers that be that love the imagery, that Michael has been able to garner them huge amounts of dollars. So it's not by accident that it slips through the cracks that.
Look, Hodges being there alongside him has at least some perspective, and then really quickly the newspaper picture, boom.
Michael Jordan defends his snub of Bush.
By the way, OG Bush.
OG Bush, not the son, not the son.
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons I want to touch on with this. It's the same reason that people will celebrate Muhammad Ali as a huge advocate for civil rights back then, and how he stood for his beliefs. But back then, he wasn't celebrated as that. But it's when time passes, specifically people who often forget what adversity they had to go through at the time, they just assume that because they're celebrated now, that was the way it always was. I think if you go back to 1991, you probably would have seen that there would have been a lot of people scrutinize Michael Jordan for not going to the White House.
Just not as many.
Not as many, but it's the way that.
Yeah, it's and there's so many more platforms now. If Michael Jordan would have said, "I'm not going now," it would have been highly publicized.
Agreed.
On Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, everywhere, online, all that.
It's the way that Colin Kaepernick now, I guarantee 20 years from now, will be remembered as almost a crucial figure for helping start a conversation. Once people have forgotten,
I hope so,
and that he's not played in however long, and because Colin Kaepernick might be an exception because he's not of that superstar status in terms of his performance on the field. Like Michael Jordan, the greatest.
If he was,
Muhammad Ali. Well, even if he was, he'd still be scrutinized. But I think that it would be, people would almost be a little bit more all right with it. They wouldn't use the backup quarterback claim. Like if LeBron James was doing it, they would be like, okay, I get it.
But best believe if the Cavs win the championship, or the Golden State Warriors win the championship, or whoever wins the championship,
somebody's not going.
There's going to be a lot of brothers not going to that White House.
Yeah, very true.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So get prepared, get ready.
Absolutely.
Kevin Love's probably going to that.
Kevin Love might not. Hell no.
I'm kidding. That's just a joke.
Hell no. Kevin Love, maybe. No, actually, maybe.
I would hope none of them would go.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal view, and you don't have to agree.
I don't condemn them if they do go either.
No,
I think it's their choice.
Look, I've said this before multiple times. If I'm an athlete, not a superstar athlete, we're just a 13th man on the bench. Scalabrine during the 2008 Celtics championship.
Whoa! Don't undermine Scalabrine.
I'm not undermining Scalabrine. It's been enough time.
Stella Brady, what up? That's my home.
MVP of that finals.
Yes.
Regardless of what you want to believe. Facts. If I'm the 13th guy on that bench, I go to the White House, maybe not this White House, but if it was Bush's White House, and I was not pro-Bush, either Bush, I wasn't pro either Bush, I'd go to Bush's White House because I think the opportunity to go to the White House is enough for me to say, this is gonna be a cool experience.
Right.
This White House would be a very difficult decision. I don't know if I would. I think I would, and to be honest,
I would go just to eat all the free food.
there's a lot of good food,
And
isn't there?
I would steal something like a George Washington painting or something.
I would definitely, is that when you go for a painting?
I
want one of those.
There's some historical shit in there, bro.
I want like the draw from the Oval Office desk.
I just want to have like a Forrest Gump worthy story.
That's true.
Like I went to the White House, I ate all the food, Dr. Peppers, and I stole something.
I want to know if they get better.
That's my Forrest Gump impression.
We're
That's
gonna let
almost
it
as bad as my
slide.
American impression.
That's so bad.
It's been a day of really bad.
That's what I think people who say they wouldn't go, they're bugging. Like, you have such an opportunity there. You're part of history at that point. Like, you can go in there. You can say, hey, I got a chance to shake the president's hand, and I stuck my hand so far up my ass crack.
I was gonna say.
Whoa, good point.
You can do some
First
like
of all,
real
is
like
he wearing a
sneaky
watch?
dastardly shit.
Right, I'd have like a chunk of shit ready to shake that man's
So
hand.
I was thinking,
Dog shit.
As you said, opportunity. The college person in me was like, just leave a nice big
does that
dump in the bathroom.
Yeah.
hands are so
Clogged his
grimy.
bathroom. I know, I don't know why.
Which one does Bannon use?
I don't know. Let's
I don't know,
hope.
but whatever, man.
The one with the white toilet paper.
If you want to go to the White House, if you don't want to go to the White House, I don't care. But
Yeah.
who gives a damn? Michael Jordan is still gonna sell millions and
Of
millions
course,
of shoes.
I'm not trying to take that away
brother's
from
still
him.
gonna have a jet. That brother's still gonna be vacationing and playing golf and smoking cigars.
I still
More power to him.
Sounds like a
and
decent life.
I still think I stand by. If Michael Jordan was maybe of the same form of activism of Colin Kaepernick, isn't now,
Right.
it would have been scrutinized right then. But again, 10, 15, even 20 years later, people would have been using it as an example. Like as I look up at the history of Smith and Carlos in the 1968 Olympics, at the time when they did it, Time ran a headline that said faster, higher, stronger, and then next to it said the motto of the Olympic Games is actually angrier, nastier, and uglier, better describes the scene in Mexico. Now how does that
Who
look?
wrote that article though?
Wow.
Don't know who wrote it. Just know
Because
it's from Time
it's
Magazine.
like 35 years late. They did something. I wish I could find it off the top of my head. We did a story roughly similar to this months ago, and the guy who wrote maybe not the Time article, but one very similar to it that was nationally syndicated. Will not apologize for the article and will not update it, even though he knows.
It's enough payback that you don't remember his name. Anyway, what
is that?
I said I think it's enough payback that you don't remember his name.
It is very much about payback. I gotta find this.
And do you know what's ironic about that as well is that specifically when you see a lot of right-wing conservatives looking to try and scrutinize Kaepernick for the way he's protesting, they use that as an example as the right way to protest because it's so long. Like, why couldn't he just like do his, the salute like those guys did in the Olympics? And I'm like, oh well, back then that wasn't considered to be the right form of protest either. And if he did that, he'd still be scrutinized.
Do you
for
know
it.
who the writer
putting their
was?
fists up.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I looked this up. I'm
was
sorry
it?
to cut you off. Do you know who the writer was? Do you remember the guy who happened to be doing during the broadcast of Joe Mixon saying he wished that he hopes he has a wonderful career going forward?
Oh, yeah.
Because there was people against him. Brent fucking Musburger wrote that article for the 30.
Brent Musburger.
Brent Musburger.
He wrote that one time.
He
Gonna-
wrote
you gonna add something?
He wrote the one that said that called them black-skinned stormtroopers. He was a young journalist at the time, which I think is, look, we make mistakes. I'm a young commentator. We're young commentators. We're gonna make mistakes. But I do know for a fact that if I made this big of one and it's been 44 years, I'd apologize. I'd update it.
Who cares? Let him fade into nothingness like all the other journalists who wrote ignorant shit during the civil rights movement.
Hey.
Just let him fade away. Let him go. But how, like, Colin Kaepernick, thank you for starting the conversation. I appreciate you taking a stand. But how obnoxious is it that each one of us have to deal with our kids coming home talking about, Dad, we learned about the second civil rights movement started by Colin Kaepernick. And it's just gonna be like such a like hard moment for us to like sit there and be like, yeah, but like he was kind of trash as a quarterback. But yeah, all right, yeah. Give him credit. Yeah, but yeah.
I'm glad you made the point because I didn't know if you were going to take that just stance as like you don't want to admit to it because he's not of the same stature, that figure. Like, because I think that whoever it is, as long as they're taking that stance and they're following up, that's an important message. But I think that's the other side of it.
Credit, it's just going to hurt each one.
But you know what, Colin
personally.
Kaepernick is a public figure, and he does a lot to help people, not only in this country but in Africa. And he is he's a smart, intelligent, giving man. And,
Absolutely. Like I said, Colin Kaepernick, all credit where credit's due.
For sure.
What he's doing is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just going to be hard to look my kids in the eye and be like, yeah, he's a great.
That Harbaugh defense.
And the worst, well, the part of it all that still continues is that he is yet to be employed again by a team in the NFL because the only crime.
Credit to Colin Cowherd and Fox Sports. They put up actually it was Nick Wright on Fox Sports for Colin Cowherd. They put up a chart of the 10 quarterbacks who have jobs that are of equal stature in terms of bad at being a quarterback as Kaepernick, like Mike Glennon. As for an example, and like 39-year-old guys who didn't run for 1,000 yards last season or 800 yards as a quarterback last season, and they have jobs. Some of them have 2 years on a contract. We're talking about the NFL. So it's remarkable that that is the reason. Because he might not be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but he is sure as hell better or of equal status to the 8, 9, 10 other guys who have signed contracts. Like Geno Smith has a job over Kaepernick, and that is devastating. Yeah, devastating.
Hey, bro, as long as you keep quiet, stay in line, don't cause no trouble, you're gonna be good. Once you are opinionated, you let your thoughts and your voice be heard. The establishment is gonna have a problem with that.
Very true.
And they're gonna make it be known.
And that's,
See, I feel you, but that's what's so frustrating about it. Because should LeBron come out and say something, he's above it. There are certain people that transcend like what A&R can do to you. You know what I mean? There's certain people that transcend what your manager can get you for deals.
Yeah, and LeBron owns half the Cavs.
Yeah,
like, he owns that damn
You're gonna kick him off his own damn
He
team,
owns the city.
He owns the NBA.
And that's why the kind of the final message that I left on the Facebook video I did with it is it's when you look at the history of the amount of players in the NFL that remain employed, it's the only organization in the world where you could kill, you can rape, you can have domestic violence, you can do everything and still have a job, but protesting black lives is one that you don't get reemployed for.
The part of Chappelle's stand-up, with the O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Excuse me, man. That man rushed for 11,000 yards.
That's hilarious. That was hilarious.
All right.
We love you, MJ.
We do love you, MJ. Come on our show. I do.
Yo, MJ, size 14, man. Please.
11.
Like 14.
Size 14, that's
wear
nearly
his
like
shoes,
two.
too.
That's nearly like 2 of my shoes.
Me too.
Yesterday.
Jordan 1s, baby.
Yes,
The whole table
Really, is an earthquake? You fucking asshole.
Yesterday, someone goes, Jason's a Kobe hater. I wear his shoes too. And people, I'm like, I'm not a Kobe hater.
You a Kobe hater?
No, I'm not a Kobe hater.
Wow, you're a Kobe hater?
Don't feel the fire, please. I can't take it.
You guys, Jason's a Kobe hater. Leave your comments
In the comments section.
Tell him how much he sucks for being a Kobe hater.